Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, in the last classes, we have seen what the sources are, and we have seen what are the independent and dependent sources, what is voltage source and what is current source. Okay, and in independent sources, we have voltage source and current source. Even in dependent source, there is voltage source and current source. Okay, but in dependent source, there can be a voltage controlled voltage source, current controlled voltage source, current source. It can be voltage controlled current source or current controlled current source. Okay, so the controlling parameter is either voltage or current. Okay, so in dependent sources, okay, in dependent sources, controlling parameter controlling parameter is either voltage or current. Okay, so in a voltage source, dependent voltage source can be a voltage controlled voltage source or a current controlled voltage source. Vs is voltage source, Cs is current source. And independent current source, it can be voltage controlled current source or current controlled current source. So these are the four types of controlled sources or dependent sources, and these are the two types of uncontrolled or independent sources. A small circuit, a general circuit, I have given it here, where it consists of all the types of controlled sources, okay, and uncontrolled sources also. Let me take one more branch. Let this be I now. Okay, so here this V is a independent voltage source or an uncontrolled voltage source. This I is an independent current source or uncontrolled current source. So the values of this voltage source and this current source will not change, okay, will not change under any circumstances. So this voltage source is characterized by the terminal voltage. This current source is characterized by the current value. They won't change. Okay, and one more thing we should observe that I may get what is the current through voltage source, but it is difficult to get what is the what is the current through voltage source, but it is difficult to know what is the voltage across current source. Okay, this we will address once again in the loop analysis or mesh analysis. Okay, how it is so and why it is so. Fine, but you just remember that voltage is basically characterized by its terminal voltage. So these are the terminal of voltage source. Let this be terminal A and terminal B, and current is characterized by the current value. So current source is characterized by the current value. Let this be C and D. Okay. So A and B terminals are available for external connection to this source. C and D terminals are available for external connection for this current source. So these two are independent sources. Whereas you observe here, this is the rhombus. I will just, for my sake, I will rhombus 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Yeah. Now, if you observe the rhombus 1, the dependent source 1, inside this rhombus there is plus and minus sign. Okay, so if you get a positive and negative sign, this indicates voltage source. Okay, and if you get arrow mark in it, upward or downward arrow mark, or sideward arrow mark, this is current source. Okay, now in this rhombus one or dependent source one, there is plus and minus sign within it. So it is evident that this is an voltage source. This is a voltage source. Now what is the controlling parameter of this voltage source? Is Vx. And what is Vx? Vx is the voltage across resistance R1. Voltage is the voltage across resistance R1. So this one is, source one is, yeah, this is anyone. What the source one
Dependent.
indicates?
Dependent voltage.
Dependent. Obviously dependent, because it is rhombus, it is dependent. But what type of dependent? What is the controlling parameter?
Voltage control.
Yeah, it is voltage controlled voltage source. Is it? Yeah. What about this second dependent source 2 here? There is an arrow mark inside this rhombus. It means it is a
Voltage
current.
control.
The controlling parameter here is Vx, the same Vx. So it is a current source controlled by voltage. So dependent source 2 is, yeah, it is,
Voltage control current source.
yes, exactly, voltage controlled current source. Voltage controlled current source. Can you tell me what is 3 and 4?
Current control current
Current
source.
control.
Yeah. So dependent source 3 is, there is an arrow mark inside it. So it is evident it is a current source. The controlling parameter is current. It is IY, which is the current through R4. So source 3 is, it is current controlled current source. Okay. Then source 4 is plus and minus. It is voltage source. Controlling parameter is current. Therefore, it is current controlled voltage source. So these are the types of sources that we come across in various circuits that we go through hereafter. Okay, so this circuit I have given just for a general understanding of what we have seen yesterday. Okay, it is a small repetition. Okay, now we'll go in particular to the sources. Okay, how we are utilizing these sources. Okay, in our circuit analysis. So we'll move to source transformation. Next, we will see source transformation. Or before that, we should be looking into, we'll see, source transformation. In source transformation, we will come across what are ideal sources and practical sources. Okay. So we'll come across here the ideal source and the practical source. When I know about these two, then my transformation becomes easy. Ideal sources and practical sources. Okay. So simple. Ideal sources are the sources without any internal resistance in them. If there is no internal resistance in any voltage source or current source, that is called ideal source. Okay, it means that the internal voltage and the terminal voltage are same. Okay, ideal sources are the one these have no internal resistance. These have no internal resistance. Okay, and practical sources have finite internal resistance. Practical sources have finite internal resistance. Okay, so if I would like to know what is the voltage source, whether it is ideal or practical, then just by observing the specification of the source, we can identify whether it is ideal voltage source or a practical voltage source. But the thing is, in practice, getting ideal sources is near to impossible task, because any components I use or any elements I use in fabricating sources or in producing this manufacturing these sources, all are practical devices and they have their practical limitations. So every electrical component what I use has got some resistance in it, electrical resistance in it. So even if I will be using the finest conductor, it has got at least even in milliohms or microohms of resistance in it. So that makes uh, every component practical but not ideal. But why we have to define ideal things? Because ideal things will give us the understanding of practical things. Okay? When I know what a particular system should be ideally, then by adding certain limitations to it, I may understand much better way practically. Okay, so ideal sources are these where I don't have any internal resistances in it. So this is a suppose voltage source. Okay, let this be of E value. Okay, let terminal A and B is the terminal of the voltage source which is available for external connection. Okay, so this is an ideal voltage source. This is ideal voltage source. And if I see the ideal current source, this is current I. I can take X and Y. So this is ideal current source. Okay, ideal current source. But practically it is difficult to get. Practically it is difficult to get. Some resistance is present internally in the sources. So if it is a voltage source, then I represent that internal resistance in series with the source. Okay. Now a practical source. First we will see voltage source, then we will look into from where I get current source, how I get current source from voltage source. Okay. So practical voltage source. Okay. So practical voltage source is having say its voltage value of E volts, and it is having some internal resistance. Let me call it as Ri, okay, into it. Now these are the terminals A and B that are available to me for external connection. Okay, then I will connect. Let me connect a load here. Let this be Rn. Okay. Now, what is the voltage available across AB? This is VAB. VAB, okay, and which is equals to the load voltage across RL. I can call it as VL. Now, observing the circuit, the voltage available at the load is not the voltage E volts, but the voltage VAB. Okay, the voltage available at the load is not E volts, but VAB volts, which is equal to VL volts, which is slightly lesser than the voltage E. Because when I connect the load to this voltage source, the loop starts carrying current. There will be current flowing here. Now let this be current I. Okay. Now I can give this current I as I equals to simple Ohm's law we can apply here. Now the total resistance of the circuit is Ri plus RL because those two are in series, and current I is equals to, I will write it as E divided by Ri plus RL. Okay. And what is VL? VL is equals to, it is I into RL. VL is equals to I into RL. So therefore, VL is equals to VAB, which is the terminal voltage of the voltage source, can be given as E minus I into Ri. So please remember, the voltage source is not with E volts. This is voltage source, practical voltage source. Okay, only E is not the voltage source. If I have to take only E, that will become ideal voltage source. Okay, so the entire voltage source practically is the voltage that is available across the load terminals. That is my voltage source here. Okay, that is the voltage available across the load. So the voltage source is giving out the voltage VAB, but this VAB is not exactly equal to E. When at no load, when nothing is connected to the source, VAB is equal, maybe equal to E, okay, because it is an open circuit. But the moment I connect the load voltage available from the source is lesser than E volts. How much lesser? E minus IR1. So by the value of I into R1 drop, okay, the voltage is slightly lesser than the exact source voltage. Now, if I want to plot the VI characteristic of the source, okay, let this be V, this is I. Okay, so VI, this is VI characteristics of the source. VI characteristics of voltage source. See, ideally, I expect the voltage value to remain constant. Ideally, I expect voltage value to remain constant, which is of E volts. But practically, what is happening here, if you observe, okay, it is decreasing. Okay, so this is V. Sorry, not V. This is VAB. Now, what is this gap? Yes? What is this gap? Hello, what is this gap?
I into Ri.
It is
I into Ri.
I into Ri. So observe here, as the current value goes on increasing, I into Ri also goes on increasing. Therefore, VAB equal to E minus I into Ri goes on decreasing. Okay, when current is zero at origin, my VAB was equal to E. That is at open circuit condition. Fine. Now, as the current goes on, if I go on adding the load to the terminal, then current goes on increasing. As current goes on increasing, the internal voltage drop across the internal resistance goes on increasing. So therefore, this gap goes on increasing as current increases. So this is the VI characteristic of the practical voltage source. This is the VI characteristic of the practical voltage source. Okay. Now, if you want to visualize this circuit practically, okay, the question is, from where do I get this internal resistance? Suppose, what example I can give is, yeah, so I have an LED. For example, I have an LED. Okay, I have an LED lamp. Okay, this is an LED lamp. I want to connect it to a battery. Okay, I have a battery also. A simple double A battery will do the work. Okay. This is a simple double A or triple A or A battery. Okay. Now I will do the connections. How do I? I will connect positive to anode of the LED. This is my connection. This is practical connection, is it? Simply take a LED, connect it to battery. It will glow. Yes. Now, if you observe the voltage here is available at 1.5 volts, but I am using a wire. Okay, it will add some resistance. There is a contact that will add some resistance, and the electrolyte which is having the chemical component which is having inside the battery is also having some dielectric resistance. Okay, so there is an internal resistance of the battery cell. Okay, of the dielectric material. There is a contact resistance when I'm making a contact here, and there is a lead resistance, wire resistance, which I'm connecting it to. So all the resistance are included in the source circuit. So for my LED here, this is a source. Everything left to AB terminal is a source for me. Everything left side to AB terminal is a source for me. Is it? And LED is a load for me. So the voltage available across AB is obviously lesser than the voltage available in the battery. Some drop is there in the dielectric material, some drop is there in the contact, though it is in millivolts, but there is some drop. There is some drop in this wire. So the voltage available at the terminal AB may not be 1.5 volts, it can be 1.45 volts. Though there is a very small drop of 0.05 volts in the circuit, but still it is a drop. Okay. Now if I want to add another LED, what will happen? Current requirement increases, drop increases. So my available voltage further goes down. And this is the characteristic of every voltage source practically available. This is the characteristic of every voltage source practically available. You can observe this, the same characteristic you will get to study in DC generators also. Because DC generator is also a source. As load increases, generated voltage or terminal voltage available goes on decreasing. That there we write it as I into RA, armature resistance. Same characteristic, VI characteristic you will observe there. Okay, and this is a general characteristic, voltage current characteristic of any voltage source. Okay, it will happen the same way. Okay, now this is fine when I use the voltage source. When voltage source is not in use, how should I keep it? Okay, what happens if I short circuit the voltage source? If RL is made 0, when I say RL is made 0, there are two perceptions to that. One is I haven't connected RL. Second is I have short circuited RL. Making resistance 0 means what? Making short circuit. Creating short circuit. Or keeping load 0 means what? Not at all connecting the load. So there are two understandings at this point. So one thing we should remember that whenever the voltage source is not in service, oh sorry, 1 second. Audible now? Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So whenever the voltage source is not in service, it should be kept open. If voltage source is not to be used, okay, it should be kept open. Now what happens if it is short circuited? If you take this is R, and if I short circuit this, Ri, this is E. Now my current I, or I can call it as ISC, short circuit current, is equals to simple E divided by Ri. And this Ri is very much less. Ri is much lesser. 1 ohm is very large for this internal resistance. It will be in terms of milliohms. It will be in terms of milliohms. Okay. So many a times you might have observed, if you take a 9-volt battery, okay, or a large ampere hour capacity 12-volt battery, if you touch both the terminals simultaneously, you may feel some itchiness in your fingers. Did you observe? Did anybody observe this? That is a mild electric shock that body is experiencing. Okay, if the current increases beyond 25 milliamps, my body start experiencing electric shock. Okay, my body start experiencing a mild electric shocks. Okay, so what will happen if this is the case? The current available, suppose Ri is in milliohms, E is, even if it is 1 volts, 1 volt by milliohms, it is 1000 amperes. A large current will flow in the circuit and it will damage the source. So never ever the voltage sources are to be kept short circuited when not in service or not in use. Okay, so this care must be taken. Now, what about current source? Practical current source. Now we saw how to represent a voltage source. Internal resistance of voltage source is connected to in series with the source voltage value, and that will give us practical voltage source. Then how to realize practical current source? Practical current source. Okay. You remember this equation ISC, which is E divided by Ri. Okay, I will write, let it be, we are on the same page, no issues. You can navigate up and down. Now, let me take the same circuit. With EMF value of E volts, having a small internal resistance of Ri value. This is terminal A and terminal B available for external connection. Now, instead of directly connecting the load resistance to this, I will use a switch S to connect a load to this voltage source. Switch S to connect a load. Now what happens? What is the current when S is open? Let me take this current as I. Load current IL. Now, when S is open, when switch is open, what is IL?
0, sir.
0, because there is no closed path. Okay. So therefore the current becomes 0. So when S is closed, okay, it is evident that IL will exist and is given by E divided by Ri plus RL. Is it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
But if I want to represent the voltage source in the form of a current source, see, fundamentally we are studying source transformation. Okay, I want to transform the representation of voltage source into current source. Practically, I can't do that. On paper, I have to do it for analysis. What all we analytical techniques we are looking into, these are all on paper requirements what we are doing. Okay. Now, if I want to represent voltage source as a current source, there should be some valid transformation. Is it? I arbitrarily cannot simply represent current source, voltage source in the form of a current source. So whenever I transfer voltage source into current source or current source into voltage source, the circuit output should not alter. The circuit output should not alter. What does that mean? For example, I have a simple circuit here. I will take a very simple circuit. It is a 10 volts battery. It is having some internal resistance of say 1 ohms, and I am connecting a load voltage of load resistance of 4 ohms. Now what is IL here? IL is equals to 10 by 1 plus 4, which is 2 amps. Is it? Simple Ohm's law application. Now, whenever I want to transform my voltage source into current source, you do whatever circus you want at this point. My load should get 2 amperes current. Are you getting? You do whatever you want, whether you want to convert this voltage source to current source to voltage source, something else, you want to take some alien component into that. Ultimately, the 4 ohm load resistance should get 2 amperes of current. So it becomes my responsibility, okay? It becomes my valid responsibility that whenever I want to transform these sources, I should make sure that the transformation is equivalent. So only always all the transformation are called equivalent transformations. Because on the other part of the circuits, the things should not change. Whatever I am doing with this source, I am doing with only this source equivalently, not arbitrarily. Okay. So now it is my responsibility to transfer this voltage source to a current source equivalently such that my load resistance will carry the same current. See, ultimately it is the current which is to be carried by a component. So if load resistance carries the same current, then whatever exercise I do at the source side is valid. That becomes equivalent exercise. So this care has to be taken. This care has to be taken. Now, what I will do is, I will do some mathematical manipulations in the equation. I have IL is equals to IL is equals to E divided by Ri plus RL when S is closed. When S is open, there is no question of current. We need not to discuss that part. Now what I will do, multiply numerator and denominator of IL by Ri. Okay, multiply numerator and denominator of IL by Ri. So what I get here, IL is equals to 1 over Ri into E into Ri divided by Ri plus RL. This can be rewritten as E divided by Ri, into Ri divided by Ri plus RL. Fine. Now what is E divided by Ri? What is E divided by Ri? From this above analysis, E divided by Ri is short circuit current. Okay. The current when the load terminals of the voltage source are short circuited. So E divided by Ri is nothing but my ISC. Is it? So therefore I will write IL is equals to, therefore IL is equals to, okay, I will write ISC into Ri divided by Ri plus RL. Fine. Now if you observe this equation, what type of current equation do you remember? There is one current which is equal to some current multiplied by ratio of resistances.
Branch current.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. This is current divider equation or branch current equation, is it? Yes or no? It is current divider equation, okay, or branch current equation. Now, which are the two branches now? Yes. Now, what are the two branches consisting of? A current multiplied by opposite branch resistance divided by total resistances. So, can I get back to the circuit where one branch is of Ri ohms, other branch is of RL ohms? Can I do that?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So I can realize this equation practically as two branch circuit. Okay. It is a two branch circuit. Okay. Two branch circuit. I want the current IL. Now, if this is RL, this is RI. Fine. Now I want the current IL. This is the current IL. Now the branch current is equals to main current multiplied by ratio of opposite resistance to total resistance. Is it? Now what is the main current here? It is ISC. So this is what? ISC. Fine? Yes or no? Can I realize this circuit from this equation? Guys. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Now, what is ISC? It is main current as per this equation. But physically, what is ISC? Now, ISC is E divided by Ri. It is E divided by Ri. Now, if I go back to this voltage source, I know that this EMF value is also constant and this internal resistance is also constant once a voltage source is fabricated. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
When a particular voltage source is fabricated, its EMF value and internal resistance will remain constant. Do you agree? Yes or no? Because anything when fabricated, the parameters won't change generally. So now here, ISC is nothing but a constant. It is a constant. Now this ISC, instead of showing it as a branch current, can I show it as a constant current source? Can I do that?
Yes, sir.
So this equivalently, I will, or here I will write. So therefore, ISC can be represented by a constant current source. So what is source? We already have defined. A source is that element who is capable of giving out the current and its value remains constant. So this is satisfying that condition. The current, it is a quantity that is flowing into the resistances and is remaining constant. Hence, I can represent it as a constant current source. This is RL, this is RI, this is IL. Now this is represented by the current ISC. Now what should be the arrow mark? What should be the direction of arrow mark? The direction of arrow mark should follow the direction of polarity of the voltage source. Now if you observe the polarity of voltage source, it is upwards. Is it? Higher potential point is upward. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
At whichever
Yes, sir.
point higher potential point exists, that is the direction of voltage. Remember that at whichever point higher potential point exists, the plus sign indicates the direction of plus sign is the direction of arrow mark in the current source, equivalent current source. So here the arrow mark will be upward. The arrow mark will be upward. So from this voltage source, of E volts and some internal resistance with the load connected, I got a current source of ISC amps with parallel connected resistances, okay, where ISC is simple E by RI, E divided by RI. So I can convert a voltage source into a current source or current source into a voltage source. If I know the current source value, if I know the internal resistance value parallel to that, I can convert to voltage source simply by, then what is E then? This also implies E is equals to
SC into
I
RI.
RI. If I know the current value and internal resistance, I can get the equivalent voltage source. If I know the EMF value and internal resistance, I can get the equivalent current source. So this is source transformation. Okay. Now what is the reason why the resistance comes in parallel to current source? Because of this mathematical analysis. We have seen some analysis here and we are equating it. Okay, and we are taking the equivalent value. Okay, so this is the equivalent current source from voltage source or equivalent voltage source from current source. So like the voltage source should not be kept under short circuit, can I keep the current source under short circuit? Or if you take ideal current source, this is practical current source. This is ideal current source, I. So this current source is having capacity to deliver the current infinitely. Infinite means infinite, for infinite time. The moment this current source is produced, it starts delivering the current. Now, if I keep the ideal voltage source open, it will try to deliver the current from this terminal A to B. But because this is open circuit, what will happen here? Do the current flow? Will there be current from A to B?
No, sir.
No current from A to B when I see it generally. But when I understand what is the nature of source, see, this is a source. It is not a common element where I say I have some connected resistance, some resistance. Now, if I say that if these two terminals X and Y are open, this resistance R will not carry current. This is true. There may be some connected, whatever the connections on this side. If I keep X and Y open, this resistance will not carry current. That is 100% true. But that is not the case with the terminal A and B here. Because this is source is having that much capacity to make the current flow. It will continuously try to make the current flow from A to B. How it will do? It will start developing a large potential difference between A and B. And because this is open circuit, the potential developed between A and B will tend to infinity. And current starts flowing here I. This is all analysis. Please remember, this is all analysis. If I have to call some element as a source, that element should have capacity or capability to deliver that quantity continuously. Now, when I call a source as a current source, its duty is to deliver current continuously. But if I keep open circuit across that, it still try to deliver current continuously by starting building up the voltage up to infinity. So it is always dangerous. If I have an ideal current source in my hand, it should not be kept open. It should be always short circuited. So voltage sources must be kept open when not in use. Current sources must be kept shorted when not in use. These 2 points must be followed. This is all about the sources and especially the source transformation, how we have taken the current source from the voltage source. Practically, current sources are difficult to realize. Okay, all the current sources come from voltage sources. And if you want to plot the VI characteristic of current source, okay, VI characteristic of current source. This is V, this is I. So irrespective of the voltage across it, the current is remaining constant. Okay, this is ISC. Okay, irrespective of the current across it, the voltage across it, the current is remaining constant. So this is ideal. This is ideal. Then what is practical? Okay, so this is practical. So this is the VI characteristic of current source, okay, where the current will remain unchanged with respect to the voltage across it. If it is constant, that is ideal. If it starts varying slowly, it is practical. Okay, so this is all about the sources and source transformation. Okay, in next class, we will be looking into the few numericals about the source transformation